I believe the development of my teaching philosophy was sparked early in my teens when I was a group leader at Kids Life, which was a Sunday school. It gave me a sense of empowerment and purpose as I watched them get excited to learn new concepts and ideas. Although this was just a weekend volunteer thing, it taught me that what I wanted most was not only to academically educate, but also to broaden the young minds to view the world differently so the children of the future will not only be adequate contributors to society, but also to give them the self-confidence and understanding to change and mold it. The philosophy of a schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of the government in the next. Abraham Lincoln. As a future educator, I have a clear vision of what I would like to achieve in my classroom and what my classroom would become. As much as traditional teaching methods have their merits, I do not want to be the type of teacher that lectures and does not endeavour to actively instill the teachings. I want to have a transformative approach and teach through interaction and group learning. This type of teaching caters to all children as it reinforces concepts by allowing them to explore different methods of learning, such as visual, verbal, and social learners. I like the quote from Maria Montessori, where she says, "The greatest sign of success for a teacher is being able to say, 'The children are now working as if I don't exist.'" She has described what I'd like to achieve in my classroom, where my students are able to work together and problem solve as if I was no longer in the classroom. Having a classroom like this would teach students not only the concepts outlined in the Australian curriculum, but also the hidden curriculum. Hidden curriculum is described as not an official part of the curriculum, but the social learning that occurs in the classroom and schoolyard. This learning is the unwritten, unintended lessons and values that students learn through social exposure. In relation to my teaching philosophy, the hidden curriculum will be taught when students are put into interactive environments and are presented with people and concepts outside their familiar understandings. This broadens the students' social awareness and teaches them how to positively contribute to society and interact with their peer group. Stereotypes are not just the basic racist comments or views of a different social group. They can also be the assumptions that one makes when confronted with different cultures or social groups. In the classroom, it is very easy for the teacher to make assumptions about their students based on their behavior or learning abilities, and this would affect how they approach and interact with that student. Students come to school with many different things like pens, books, sandwiches, but what teachers don't see is the virtual backpack that their students bring to school each and every morning. As an educator, I want to explore and learn about each of my students' virtual backpacks, whether it be family issues or generational trauma that affects the way that they learn and conduct themselves in the classroom. I also want my classroom to be a safe haven and a diverse learning environment for all different cultures and social groups. I believe that in order to achieve this, you need to get to know your students on a personal but still professional level. This method would allow me as a teacher to explore these cultural and social groups in a fun and interactive way in my classroom for all students to learn. I want my students in my classroom to feel safe and welcome no matter their background or virtual backpack. In my classroom, I want diversity to become the norm and the differences to be celebrated. I want to promote a class attitude of inclusion and kindness that is immune to the outside influences that promote social injustice. The teaching philosophy of any current or future teacher stems from the way in which each individual views children. Personally, I look at children as creative, curious, and capable human beings that can be easily molded by a structured environment and positive reinforcement. Like Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I believe that being an educator means you need to provide the tools in which students learn, and one day they will be able to change the world for the better as the future generation. Thank you.